And according to the Wall Street Journal, a student at the University of Wisconsin has invented a special nozzle that allows you to pour draft beer twice as fast as ever before possible. You can now get a beer in your glass in 3 seconds.
The TurboTap pours from the bottom of the glass to the top. He says it fills a glass 2 to 4 times faster than a regular tap and produces less foam and spills.
We can also help a bar owner save a lot of money in terms of the beer that they would otherwise waste.
You cannot buy a TurboTap, but the inventor leases them for $99 a year.
It's been a problem, if you can call it that, for beer-loving baseball fans for years. And here's what it is. You miss some of the action at the ballpark because of the long line at the beer stand. At last, there's a solution. It's called TurboTap.
We stopped by the High Bar on North Southport when the place was closed, so we could get a good look at a new invention called TurboTap.
Have you ever been in the situation where you need a beer and you need it now? There's an added bonus. It pours the perfect head each and every time.
You beer drinkers, it might be the ultimate fraternity fantasy, a beer tap that pours beer faster. The new TurboTap is being used in some restaurants and sports stadiums. The tap's nozzle extends into a glass bottom and pours beer upward in an evenly distributed flow, and a lot faster than a standard tap. And that means less beer wasted. Also means less time wasted standing in beer lines at sporting events and concerts.
There's really nothing more American, I think, than a nice, cold, perfect draft beer.
Sales of draft beer have been fizzling. Bars say the TurboTap could rev them up.
If beer is your beverage, then chances are you can relate to the frustration of a slow flow.
TurboTap reportedly pours a perfect pint in as few as 2 seconds and can increase a standard keg yield by up to 30%.
TurboTap has been installed at Wrigley Field, where it's helping vendors make about 40 extra bucks per keg.
Well, let's take a look at Wrigley Field, where they have installed TurboTaps. They're getting up to 8 extra beers per keg. That's about 40 extra bucks per keg. They say the patented device works because it pours beer from the bottom of the glass in an evenly distributed flow. It attaches to all standard taps. So far, about 1,000 are in use.
Now, this lets bartenders pour draft beer up to 4 times faster than conventional taps.
Okay, so it's a lot faster than traditional taps, but you're probably asking, so what?
So what? There are a lot of people that spend a lot of time waiting in beer lines that are at a stadium that want to get back to their seats and watch the game. We can help them do that. We can also help a bar owner save a lot of money in terms of the beer that they would otherwise waste.
Will pouring a faster, better beer lead to profits? A new idea taps into the beer business.
Using science and technology, the tap controls the 2 enemies of beer, gravity and turbulence. Today, there are 3,000 TurboTaps serving up cold ones.
So they're getting about 75 beers out of a keg. We're going to get 98 beers out of a keg.
Standing in long lines, waiting to get a cold one has happened to just about every beer lover.
But now there's a solution. It's called TurboTap.
Predicting the guy who invented that is going to be a millionaire very quickly.
31-year-old Matthew Yunkel is the president of TurboTap, which sells a small nozzle that can pour a 16-ounce beer in just 2.5 seconds flat and less sudsy overflow.
It's called the TurboTap. The uncle has now sold them to more than 1,000 bars and restaurants and even a couple of ballparks, U.S. Cellular Field and Wrigley Field.
My ultimate dream is to be somewhere in the Northwoods of Wisconsin and show up in a little pub and walk in and see a whole row of TurboTaps there and order a TurboTap beer.
Because then you'll have them all.
That means they'll be everywhere.